This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted today to be joined with Seb Simmonds, making his pro debut on May the 12th. It's finally here. After many delayed dates, we finally got it. First of all, how's everything been, mate? How's things been for you?
Yeah, been good, been good. Can't complain. Obviously, camp's been going well. Had great sparring. Yeah, so everything's good, man. I just can't wait for next Friday, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's finally here, your pro debut after sort of getting delayed date before. When you sort of
Yeah,
anticipate for a delay for a date with your pro debut, it's a special occasion for anyone.
yeah,
Was it
sure.
frustrating to sort of get that delayed and then having to, or was it just
No, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it hit me like a
it
bus.
was late as well?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah. Like, it was massive for me. Obviously, it still is massive, obviously,
Mhm.
but it was massive. The build up, the tension, the buzz around the gym, like it was just crazy for me. And you got to think I've never had to experience that yet. So all
Mhm.
this that I'm experiencing now is brand new. So
Yeah,
I didn't know how to cope with it. So I'm like speaking to
yeah,
the other lads and being like, yo, like I feel like this and I feel like this. And they're like, listen, it's normal. Like this type of
yeah.
thing happens. Obviously CJ's had a lot of fights.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
There there you go.
yeah, so like CJ, like I spoke to him. Obviously, he's like the guy in the gym that I speak to. He's had to put up with a lot of like cancel. So yeah, so he's helped me along the way with how to deal with that. But yeah, don't get me wrong, it wrecked my head, bro. It wrecked my head bad.
Yeah. I was going to say you just mentioned CJ there, and I'm going to be speaking to him just after this. But you getting a lot of guys in your gym sort of on the card. How special is that to have all you lot fighting on the sort of same date and you're all pushing each other?
Listen, it's mad because so my story is I used to be a pro footballer back in the day.
Yeah,
And obviously due to injury, obviously it all went wrong. Um, so I literally I was massive. I was like
yeah.
96 kg,
Uh,
a big guy. And I'm only 5'4", so I was huge. And I started doing a few sessions with Leon Woodstock. Yeah.
yeah,
I've known Leon Woodstock since he was a baby. Basically, he lives a couple of doors down from my mum. So I remember speaking to him and doing sessions with him, and he was like, "Yo, Seb, you've got something here. Like, what are you doing, man?" And I never really believed him. I just did it, I just did it or whatnot. And so yeah, like obviously, so me and him, as I started to get okay at boxing, we had this plan, and we said, imagine a show in Leicester with all of us on it.
that's
Yeah.
fucking mad.
And you've got to think that was 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it was crazy. So for that to be happening now with all my bros and my sis, obviously Paige, it's huge. Like it's massive, man.
yeah. I can imagine, and I was literally just going to touch on your story there, and it seems like a perfect sort of time to talk about it. You said you sort of were, you're a footballer, you're 96 kg. Your story into boxing's a lot of it's a different one from how it usually would be.
Yeah.
Sort of being 96 kg, losing all that weight. Did you ever look back then when you first stepped into the gym that you'd be fighting in the professional ranks?
Nah, you know what? Like I came in the gym to lose weight. Um, the coaches told me I was good, and I thought, you know what? Okay, cool. I jumped on the unlicensed fight, and I had my first unlicensed fight, and brother, it was the worst thing ever. Like I swear, so I got down from 96 to 65 for that fight. I walks in the ring,
Jeez.
the guy's towered over me, and all of a sudden my legs go jelly,
Yeah,
and then I just resort to just fighting, and I
yeah,
lost it. And I thought, what the hell? I came out of there and I was exhausted. Next day I was like, actually, I love that. So it kind of changed, and I thought, you know what? Okay, cool. But I never thought until later on in the unlicensed journey that I'll turn over. I wanted to turn over around COVID times,
Yeah.
but obviously COVID happened. It weren't the right time to turn over. So now I am turning over. I'm kind of behind the schedule of when I wanted to turn
Yeah.
over, if you get what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
a quick learner. I'm always in the gym, and that's it. Like, yeah, it's huge for me, and I'm just somewhere where I never thought I was gonna be,
Yeah.
and I am now.
When did you feel like it was, when was there a moment you just said that you wanted to turn over during COVID, but obviously it probably weren't the right time to turn over pro then. When did you sort of feel like, now this is right for me? I need to turn pro now. Was there ever a significant moment in your sort of the lead up to you turning over?
Yeah, sure. So at COVID times, I nearly died. I blew myself up in an explosion.
Yeah.
Because I'm a sparky by trade, electrician by
Oh,
trade.
okay, yeah.
So that was not long after a fight that I thought I was like bang on.
Yeah.
Then that happened. I
Uh-huh.
lost sight in one eye, um, temporarily. So it took me a while to come back. Like certain colors, certain smells, certain
Yeah.
noises used to like throw me off, and so it was kind of a rebuild. Um, so that's where I've got my Deadpool gimmick from.
Yeah, yeah,
Because my face was all burnt and whatever. Expected loads of scars or whatnot. Um, so then coming back from then, that first fight back was huge. Like it was like, can
mhm,
I do this still?
yeah,
And I did it. I did it. I wiped the bloke out, and I was like, okay, cool. I think it's time. So then that happened. Then I lost my dad.
yeah,
But my dad was always someone that used to say like, don't do it little, do it big.
yeah, yeah, of course.
Um, so he says, son, you've got that professional mentality. You are a pro in anything you do. You need to do it. And yeah, it was kind of like it had to happen. It had to happen. That was the right time. It's just a shame that he's not here to see me make my debut. But obviously he's watching from up there. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
that was kind of like the turnaround point from coming back from my explosion to knowing I can still do it, and then fighting twice after that and fighting really, really well. And just yeah, it was ready now. It was time.
yeah. You just mentioned there coming back from the explosion, losing your father. Obviously, you said being a footballer as well. A lot of life experiences that you've had have you had to overcome adversity. You had to overcome difficult sort of challenges. How difficult? How has your life experience that you've experienced so far shaped you into sort of the man that you want to be today?
You know what? Yeah, like I think it gives you the makeup that you've got. Like it's your makeup. It makes you. So okay, say for instance, before the explosion, I wouldn't mind going on my motorbike and just wearing a helmet and not wearing
Yeah,
leathers. You understand what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I
of
wouldn't
course.
I wouldn't mind going on a bike ride, like a bicycle ride without a helmet on. Like now you would never see me do that. It
Mhm.
makes you respect your life a lot more. So in that aspect, I respect my life a lot more, and it makes it, and it also shown for that on that point in life that who are your proper people, because you're in
Yeah,
such a bad place where like it's not really something I want to go deep in, but there was at points in that recovery where I was like, I don't want to be here no more. Do you understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, of
So
course. Yeah,
so like, and I know what I understand. Listen, everyone has bad times and down times
yeah.
and whatnot, but yeah, like I think it just makes you respect your life a lot more, and I
Hmm.
respect my life a lot more. And and you know what I mean? Like I think that's the way I am. Like obviously, like with okay, back from early football, the
Yeah,
disappointment of that was heartbreaking
yeah, of
because
course.
throughout my childhood, I didn't think I was going to do anything else.
Yeah,
I didn't think I was going to do anything. I was the best of the best, and that was it. And having that knocked down and then going wrong and then having to regroup, thinking, what am I going to do? Getting a little job, opening my first business or whatnot, doing that, and then the business going well, then all of a sudden going bad. And,
yeah,
listen, life tests you. And for me, I like a test. I'm
Hmm.
happy to take a test on. And you know what? Jumping in the ring is a test for me. It's a
Yeah,
test. And you know what? I'm going to tell you now, I come over every single test.
hundred
Whether
percent.
in boxing, whether sometimes you can still win the test, but I might lose the fight.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you feel like the times that the difficult times that you've had in your life, they've made you into the man that you've been today, no matter how hard they've been? Or
Yeah.
you look at the cause now and you look at the person that you are today, sitting here talking to me. This is, you were able to get the best version of yourself due to sort of the difficult time you've had, and you know what it's like to be at the bottom, and you know that feeling when you're at the top is so much sweeter.
Yeah, sure. Because okay, for instance, um, nothing went wrong with football, and
Yeah,
I've got to 32 now. I'm coming to the end of my career, and I've been earning minimum 20 grand a week. I
yeah,
wouldn't be the person I am now. I wouldn't respect my money. I wouldn't, no disrespect to footballers, but they ain't got much respect for a lot of things. Do you
yeah,
understand what I'm saying? So 100%, like 100%, like that was the first, like I said, that was the first one, and all the other things, like yeah, 100%. That what's happened with me in my whole life has shaped me to be the person I am now.
yeah. How would you now? Because I saw on your Instagram, obviously having children now. How is that like for you, where you've had experiences? You've had the father figure in your life, you've seen it get taken away from you. How does that shape
Yeah.
you into, you now having children and providing the best life for them that you possibly could?
Yeah, like obviously, like my dad's always been there, like always been there, never not been there. Always, kept me grounded. So never let me be a certain way or go on myself or whatever. Kept me grounded. But also gave me what I needed. He gave me the tools in life to succeed. Like with my boys now. I'm literally just doing exactly what my dad did. Like for me, my
Yeah,
dad's my superhero. Like there's no like he's the person I look up to. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
kids look up to Spider-Man, Superman, whatever. My dad is my superhero. So if I can be what he was as a father, I've done all right.
yeah. Because it's like, it's always the one thing, when you sort of, when you want to give the best life to your children, you want to give the best sort of opportunity that they have. You look at sort of the experiences that you've had, that you said, this all shapes you into the man. But do you also feel like all these experiences that you've had shapes you into the best father that you could be as well?
Yeah, sure, 100%, like 100%, like 100%. I think you take bits out of that part in your life and you put it into this part in life. Like, okay, for instance, the mistakes that you
Yeah, the
made.
mistake. That's yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the mistakes that you made, try to prevent it with your kids. Do you know what I mean? Try give them the advice to not make those mistakes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Of course.
you know what I mean? Like, and listen, like, you can't knock my children. My children are so good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the older one goes to work all the time. He goes college. He's got his driving test this week. Do you know what I mean? Like that, my kids are
Mhm.
good, man, respectable, proper good, and me and their mums have done well.
Yeah, you just said being a footballer as well there. Being in the ring and boxing, I'm sure it's a high pressure environment, similar to being a footballer and being sort of in the academy of footballers. Do you see shades of, I know it's very, very different, but do you see shades of comparison in the sort of the pressure with all the eyes on you and dealing with those sorts of pressures when, in your early
100%.
days, you experienced it before, then you look at it in the ring, you felt something similar.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? 100%. It's quite the same. Like I would say, it's quite the same. Like when you go to these places on trial, or you got a massive
Hmm.
game, or you've got so and so watching you, or whatever. Like it's horrible. It's horrible. But
Yeah,
you just get on with it. The only difference between the football situation and the boxing is you're on your own.
yeah,
So in the ring, you're on your own. So okay, like you could play a game and you could be doing okay, but you can't just do okay in a boxing ring, because if you do okay, you're going to get punished. Whereas you can get away with it a bit in football. So I feel there's more pressure. There's more pressure in a boxing ring,
yeah,
but I think it works better for a selfish person.
yeah,
In that situation, it can work better for a more selfish person in that industry, in that whatever I want to say. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, because
yeah.
in football, I was a greedy footballer.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
all about me. I wanted to be the guy. So boxing works perfect for me. It's
yeah, of
all about me.
course.
You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And
So yeah,
within football, in the gym you have your stable mates and your teammates, but also in football you have teammates as well, like the players that you play with. How important would you say that circle is of that circle in the football? I'm trying to compare the football and the boxing,
yeah,
and
yeah,
how
sure.
important is that circle where you just said there when you talk to CJ and you talk to guys, and you need them shoulders to look at, and you need them shoulders that you brush off,
Yeah, yeah.
no matter what concerns you have about boxing or anything in general, you can sort of go to them about it. How important is that sort of environment in a sporting environment?
Yeah. So I think sport works on a vibe. So if you've got a vibe on the pitch, in the gym, it works better. If I go to the gym and I'm there and I've got four other guys at the gym and I don't talk to them, I don't like none of them,
Yeah,
that session, yeah, might be going about my business, but we've got no banter. We're not enjoying it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, of
so
course.
in that aspect, the team's massive. Also, on top, you got to think I've got in my gym right now, I've got CJ that's flying. I've got Leon, former European champion. Yeah. He's been in with some proper fighters. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know how many times I speak to him and I'm like XYZ and he say, yeah,
yeah,
this. Like, I don't need to go searching for people to give me advice
yeah.
and for people that have been there that are doing it that
Hmm.
can tell me the best situation or the best thing to do or whatever. So I'm so privileged to have the gym I've got. So privileged because it just works for me. Like you got to think I might be the older one in the group,
Yeah,
but I'm actually the baby in boxing.
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like looking at younger guys to you for advice. And
Hmm.
CJ and Leon might say, "Oh yeah, he's always asking for advice." Because I'm like that.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
probably annoying, but I'm like that. It's because I want to know. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I want to know.
How important is that knowledge though for you to be as knowledgeable as you possibly can and having as asking as much questions as you can? Because I'm the same as you. I'm always asking
Mhm.
every question, no matter how ridiculous it is, and having as much knowledge, especially in boxing, that you can. Not even inside the ring, but outside the ring as well. Having all that knowledge, how important is that for you that you are as educated as you possibly could be?
Yeah, you need the knowledge because if you just daft and don't really know what's going on, you don't know what to expect. How are you going to brace yourself or how are you going to deal with a certain situation when something kind of goes wrong, i.e.,
Yeah,
the fight being cancelled? Like,
yeah,
what are you going to do? Like, you got to think you was in camp, your food was low, you was making your weight, you had plans after, which you've now got to cancel. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
how do you deal with it? And you know what? Like, a lot of these younger people in boxing will probably struggle to do that. I'll probably go off the rails because of that.
yeah,
Because they've built up for the whole year just for that one date, and then it just gets taken away from them, and then they don't really know what to do.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, like trust me, you need to educate yourself in boxing. If you ask me, like I've heard a lot of things being spoke about. I've asked loads of questions. I've spoke to a lot of people. I'm starting to see what boxing's about. And you
yeah.
know what? Some of it's great, some of it's not great. But without asking, I wouldn't know these things.
Definitely. Yeah. Just as we sort of close off this interview,
Mm.
you can't there's some things you can't delay the inevitable. So inevitably, what happens next week on your pro debut?
What happens next week? Seb smash.
Seb, honestly, mate, I've really enjoyed chatting to you, man. This story that you've sort of said to me, man, it's something I feel like you need to be broadcasted. Whether you sort of I'm sure it's not an easy thing for you to talk about, but the whole
Yeah.
story and what we've just shared there, it's something that I feel like that needs to be broadcasted to everyone. Everyone should know take so much inspiration from your story. So honestly, I appreciate you sharing that with me today, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Love, man.
Yeah, honestly, mate. Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. Top man.
Yeah, man. Sweet. Speak.